scene.
Hello, and Happy New Year, Falcon Paladin. It's the wrong page. There we go.
There we go. I am not audible. I am Falcon Paladin.
You are not me shopping for what I want to listen to at work tomorrow because I finished my previous audiobook today.
Correct.
Yeah.
Accurate statement, without a doubt. Yes, Happy New Year. Glad it's 2024.
Were you sick of 2023?
Yeah, kind of a little bit tired of it. I feel like it went by fast, but a lot of stuff happened, so.
That's fair. That's one way to put it. Like,
yeah, it's
highlights, lowlights. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, right? I don't know. Ton of stuff happened. I watched Ordinary Things kind of recap video on 2023. More of like world events and politics and stuff than like, I don't know, video gaming things. But yeah, I was like, oh man, that's right. There was that dude, that Russian dude from the Wagner group that like was marching on Moscow, and where everyone was like, holy smokes, he's gonna take over the country. And then like he didn't, and I was like, oh. That totally happened this year.
That was a thing. That was a thing that happened. Yeah. Well, yeah.
And then like 2 months later, his plane exploded and he died. And I was like, that's just a random happenstance. That has nothing to do with anything that happened earlier this year. Not at all.
Yeah, absolutely no coincidence to the things that may have preceded it.
No. Nope. So that was fun. This is more of an American-centric thing, but there was a balloon that China sent over and was hovering over like Montana or something early in the year. And everybody was like, holy crap, what's going on?
And then it was just like a weather balloon, wasn't it?
No, it was a spy balloon. It definitely was. But apparently it hadn't been turned on. Like, according to Ordinary Things, it had some sensors, but then like they weren't gathering any data. So I don't know, man. This is a weird story.
Okay.
Yeah. And that kind of started this like UFO craze that went through most of the year. Where it's like, well, what is this thing in the sky? It's not a planet. Doesn't look like an American weather balloon. It's obviously aliens. And then we just went with that for the rest of the year.
Right.
Aliens nonstop.
Aliens, man.
Yeah, man. The subreddit UFO, I think that's what it is. Something like that. Like really blew up this year. So
I'm not a part of that subreddit, so I'll take your word for it.
Me neither. I just browse r/all, and stuff that gets a lot of attention shows up for me because I'm just browsing r/all.
Right.
And yeah, it started. Posts started showing up about 6 months ago of talking about congressional hearings, and Mexico claimed that they had some aliens, but then they weren't. And it's just like, how many times does this have to happen for these people before they're like, I'm out? You know? Like, how many hoaxes do they have to get completely and utterly disappointingly crushed by before they're like, all right, this sucks?
I don't know what the deal is with, like, aliens specifically.
Okay.
But something that made me, like, rethink about how I look at people who fall for conspiracy theories and stuff like that is Folding Ideas has a video on flat earthers.
Sure.
And he was like, well, I was going to do this video years ago, but H-Bomber Guy put out a video, so I had to shelve it for a year, which is an opening joke, always kills me. But basically, what he found was people were leaving the flat earth conspiracy theory behind in favor of, like, QAnon, right?
Oh, so they go from flat earth to the Republican Party will triumph and JFK Jr. or JFK will lead us to victory.
Yeah, kind of. But basically what it boiled down to was the reason why they keep moving from like one conspiracy to another or like one, aliens or whatever to the next is because specifically within flat earth, if you can prove that the earth is flat and it defies our understanding of physics, then it must be special, therefore God did it. So people will never stop trying to grab onto the hope that they can find proof that, there's God and he's going to come and like wrap the world up like a video game or whatever, or put things in their place. And like, they just want the proof. So they're going to keep moving from one thing to another, and somehow that'll give them the proof that they want. And they'll never be like, okay, I'm out. Like, this was an alien hoax too far. It's like, the first one, the failed one didn't fail to convince them because of the evidence. It just failed to convince them, That's the important part there. They're failure to be convinced otherwise.
We'll try again next time.
You can keep trying. I don't think it'll do anything.
Right. But I mean, that's what they're saying. We'll get them next time.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What does God have to do with aliens, though?
I have no idea.
I think aliens would be like kind of disproving the existence of God, right?
You'd think. But like I said, it's how that changed the way I think about people who believe in conspiracy theories. That the important part is not the theory itself, it's what that somehow means to the rest of their view on the world, So people who really desperately want aliens want there to be aliens because then they can prove that like they were built by the pyramids, or the pyramids built the aliens, and then all these other conspiracies, like because you can find vaguely pyramidal shapes all over the place, and they all have to be aliens, and it's a big conspiracy.
So it's the worldview is rocks. It's solid. Their worldview will never change,
right?
No matter what.
Right.
They believe that aliens are real, and that's that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they might move on from aliens to something else, right? Because the aliens would just prove that aliens did something that confirms a belief that they already hold. Like, Biden didn't win the election. Alien technology brainwashed everyone. That's the kind of... there's a link there to something else. That's just an example. I'm not an alien conspiracy theorist. Don't at me. But that's all. So when I see that, that's all I can think of. That they always want there to be aliens because it'll prove something else that they believe, and that is not a belief they hold rationally. It is a belief they just hold and will continue to try and look for something to prove it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Huh. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. Cool. So what did you do for New Year's?
Watched a lot of football. Hung out at my parents' house. Brought the kids. Their cousins from Idaho were there. They had a great time.
Nice.
Ate 7-layer bean dip.
7-layer bean dip?
7-layer bean dip. And meatballs that my sister made with like grape jelly.
Jelly?
Like they're meatballs, but she like the sauce that they were like cooked in was like jelly based, and I was like, this sounds weird. Then it was really good. So hey,
okay,
I'm not gonna complain. Yeah,
if it works, nice. It works. Yep.
We as we usually do, because we're 2 hours behind New York City, we turned on a live stream of the ball dropping in New York City at 10 p.m. And we're told all the kids, hey, it's New Year's, and
let them
count it down and did the thing, and they played the music, and the kids are like, awesome, it's 2024, and then they went to bed.
One day, your kids are going to sit down and show a therapist this clip and be like, see, my parents were lying to me about everything. It didn't matter that it was 2024 in New York. It wasn't 2024 where we were. Why were they doing this? Like,
yeah, also Santa.
Santa, yeah.
Also lied to them about Santa.
It's
so
true.
Just add that to the list, kids.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a tradition. I mean, that goes back a really long time. I think my parents did that to me back in the day. That's how long that extends. Just, generational trauma all the way down.
Yeah.
How about you? How was your New Year's Eve?
I didn't do anything for New Year's. I think I went to bed at like 8:30, which was, I stayed up a little bit late. But I was mostly recovering because I got home on the 31st at about 12:30 in the morning.
Yo.
Went to bed maybe sometime a little after 1. And still got up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm a goddamn lunatic.
Right.
I was out at a concert for my birthday. I was
fun.
Yeah, went to see a band called Trophy Eyes, who are lunatics with their crowd. They decided to do this show. No fence between the crowd and the front of the stage, so at a very low stage, so like people could climb up if they wanted to, and they did. No security standing there to stop people. In fact, I would say it was encouraged, and what people do when they get on stage with a band is then like dive into the crowd to be like crowd surfers and stuff, which is fine, except there was also people being lifted at like the back and surfing forwards, so I had to have my head looking one way to like help carry people, make sure they didn't like crush my neck. And then I would get kicked in the face by someone diving into the crowd because I was pretty near to the front.
Oh, neat.
So for my birthday, I got kicked in the head repeatedly, elbowed in the mouth, hit so hard in the back of the head, I headbutted the person in front of me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Twofer.
Yeah, it was a rough night, but it was a good time. Like, you know, I'm maybe not going to go do that again now that I'm 30.
Fair. No, entirely fair. Yeah.
But it was a good time to do it, at least, you know, send off the year, you know?
I don't see any bruises on you.
No,
I don't. Do you not have bruises?
I don't bruise easily. Also...
What? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't bruise easily?
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's like a superpower? What's going on?
No, I don't think it's a superpower. I'm just slightly more resilient than some people. Like, okay, like if you punch someone and they bruise, and you punch someone else just as hard and they don't bruise, it's not a superpower. It's just people are differently tough.
It says muscular people bruise less.
Wow.
You're muscular.
Yeah, look at those guns.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Huh.
That might be it. I doubt it.
One of the best ways to avoid bruises is to make sure our capillaries are strong and flexible. A balanced diet is your best bet. Leafy dark greens, garlics, and onions, and dark-colored berries.
Oh.
Is that your diet?
No.
This is not making any sense.
I don't know. I'm physically active at work, I guess. So I'm like lifting stuff at work. I mean, I'm not weak.
Your capillaries are healthy because you're always working them. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Huh.
The person in front of me ended up like getting a cut on the inside of one of their lips and stuff like that. She had a rough time.
Well, you got elbowed in the mouth. You didn't get a cut in there?
No, like it wasn't like someone was trying to. Their arm flung into me and hit me in the mouth. It's not like I wasn't in an MMA fight where the person was trying to hurt me. They just hit me. Like that's a little different.
Okay.
You know.
Fair.
Yeah.
Still, my goodness. Bah, they said. All right. Well, yeah. So your last physically dangerous concert, maybe ever?
Well, I'm still gonna go to concerts. I've still got like 5 planned for the next like 6 months.
But I said physically dangerous, though.
Right, but I'll still be in like mosh pits and stuff. Just every other show that I've been to has been less wild than that. You know. Like
So they have omnidirectional crowd surfing.
Pretty much.
Got it.
Yeah.
Much safer. Yeah. Hopefully.
Or at least I'll just have security grabbing people to make sure that they're not like... If they do crowd surf to the front, normally what happens is they'll grab them and help them get off the crowd so they land safely, not just like on their head. And then they'll walk them to the edges of the side and then back around to the back rather than letting them climb up on stage, high-five the lead singer, smash into the mic stand onto the drum kit, and then run and cannonball back into the crowd who's not watching to catch them, you know?
Yeah.
That's looking forward to not that happening again.
Yeah, absolutely. If you show up to a concert and they're doing that, are you just like, I'm out? What would you do?
If they're doing that, I'd probably just be like, all right, I'm standing to the side or the back, maybe.
Just
but like,
position better.
Yeah, just position better.
Okay, that's easy.
Yeah.
You can totally go to the concert again. Just position better. You'll be fine.
I could, but I don't know.
Okay.
I saw that band twice this year. I'm maybe a little out of it. Like, like, let's not see them anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
For now.
For now, for a little while.
You're full up.
Yeah, full up.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Yep.
All right, cool. So nothing happened for New Year's then. Neato.
Nope.
And yeah, New Year's Day, which is more football. They had some college football playoff stuff happening, which is a lot of fun.
It's gonna be annoying, right? If you're a football player, it's like, oh man, what are you doing? I guess I'm going to work. You know.
Sure, but they usually try to put like really prestigious, big time, super meaningful games on New Year's, so the players are like, "This is awesome."
Sure.
Like everybody's watching too, because like people are off on New Year's, so I don't know. I haven't heard anyone complaining about it. Anyway,
that makes it okay.
Yeah.
All right. Who won? Who played? Who won?
It was the first game was Alabama versus. Why am I spazzing on this?
Dunno.
Washington. No, it was Washington, Texas, and then it was Bama and who's the other son of a gun?
Montana, Minnesota.
I'm just gonna name M teams.
Okay. Louisiana, Kentucky. I don't know. I'm just naming states.
Fair.
Do they even have football teams?
Yes.
Okay. I take it wasn't them, otherwise you would have said yes.
Correct.
Was it a big state or a little state?
I don't remember.
Okay. There you go. So guessing it.
Oh, Michigan. Man, why did I forget about Michigan?
Oh, it wasn't M State.
Even. It wasn't M State, yeah.
I'd have gotten there eventually.
So Michigan, Alabama, Washington, Texas. Both of the semifinals were close games, which is nice. Like it came down to the final play, which is always really fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be Michigan, Washington in the championship game in about a week.
Cool.
So it's a 4-team playoff for the last couple of years, and they're going to a 12-team playoff next year, which I'm really excited for. That'll be more playoff, which is just these playoffs are super fun. More of that's always going to be good. Yeah, the final play of the Bama-Michigan game was really almost kind of funny because there's like 2 seconds left. Bama needs a touchdown, and their quarterback's pretty fast, and he's been running a lot in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they call a play where his job is to get the ball, they hike it to him, and then just run. And his offensive line would create a gap for him, and he'd run, get a touchdown.
Sure.
Well, like, there was no gap. The ball gets snapped, and it's like, nope, there's nowhere to go. And he's just like, Leroy Jenkins. And he just full speed goes, no, poof. And it's like, bams into like 6 people and falls down, and it's over. And I'm like, so I don't know that you had to do that. I know that was the play. But like maybe try going around. I have no idea what he was trying to do. It was very funny. That's all.
Yeah.
No. I tried to. My brother was home from college for the week, so I tried to make him watch some Andor.
Oh yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And I'm like, "You Philistine, you must appreciate Andor."
It's pretty good.
We'll see. It's pretty good.
I mean,
for what it is.
The first couple episodes are the slowest parts and the worst bits, I think.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But it's setting it up anyway. And the writing is good, even if it's not like crazy exciting, you know?
Sure.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. They're making Andor 2, but I don't think that's going to come out until like 2025.
Oh, so long away.
Yeah. It was going to be 04, and then the writer strike pushed it as far as I know.
That'll do that.
Yeah.
It's just too bad.
Yeah, there's all these articles like it's going to come out in August of 2024, but like they're all before the writer's strike. So thanks for your article, guys. You're the best. No, here we go. Gizmodo posted something last month. They knew about the writer's strike. They knew it was delayed.
Gizmodo is still around. That's news to me.
Sure is. Yeah, I don't think I've been to a Gizmodo anything in a long time, but look at them have correct information. Maybe we should come back to Gizmodo more.
They're a long way from turning TVs off at what's the technology festival? Oh, festival. It's like convention in Vegas. CES or something.
CES? Yeah, that's a thing. There's a lot of conventions, though. I don't know.
I think it's probably CES. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were taking infrared repeaters, like the things that just flip through all the infrared signals and turning off TVs at presentations and stuff there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real good move, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so
anywho,
2025.
2025.
Neat.
And then apparently the next big Star Wars movie is 26, but
meh. I'll worry about that.
Meh.
2 years away.
Right. Apparently there's a big brouhaha somewhere that like the lady that they put in charge of that one is like, it's about time we get a female-led Star Wars film. And everyone's like, so did you like, do you know who Rey is? Are you okay? Have you watched any Star Wars movies before?
Well, what they mean is a good original Star Wars movie that's female-led. Because
yeah, if she had said that, I would have agreed. Yeah. Anywho, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I'll look for it then. You know.
2026.
Yes, 2026.
Basically tomorrow.
I hope not.
I
Ugh.
don't know. Time goes fast. That's all I'm saying.
It does.
Yeah. Man, so oldest kid wanted a Quest 3 that came out. When did the Quest 3 come out?
That's an excellent question. October 10th.
Okay, so it's been out for a while, a few months.
Mm-hmm.
He decided that this week, because he wasn't in school, he's like, I want one. And I'm like, well, you don't have the money for it.
And Christmas was 2 weeks ago. You should have asked for it then.
I know. You should have had this idea a while ago.
It's $800 Australian.
Oh my gosh.
I think it comes with a free game. So,
ooh, what's the game?
Asgard's Wrath 2.
I've heard good things about that one.
Literally never heard of it before.
I mean, none of these VR games really get widespread acclaim. You know what I mean?
I mean, except for the ones that do, like Beat Saber or what's the sorcery and magic one? I've seen tons of clips of that, but I don't remember its name. Yeah,
I don't know what that is. Is it Asgard's Wrath?
No, it's called
sorcery.
It's called Blade and Sorcery. That's what it's called. Right. Yeah, it has an
Alex,
overwhelmingly.
I guess got a bunch of attention.
Alex is good. Yeah. Other games that I've got attention was like Arizona Sunshine, Pistol Whip, to some degree.
Super Hot.
Yeah.
Super Hot got a bunch of attention for a while.
It's a good game.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Like, what's it going to take for VR to go mainstream? You're selling 200 million VRs, you know?
Yeah, the cost to come down.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's cost prohibitive.
Okay. Because, I mean, like, how much is a PS5? $530?
Let's see how much it is at Australian. $800.
Well, there you go. So it's the cost of a PS5.
Right, but it also only plays VR games.
PS5 only plays PlayStation games.
So PlayStation games are much broader in scope and, playability than VR games.
PlayStation 5 library.
I think
how many games are there for the PS5 right now?
Let's say you buy a PlayStation 5 because you want to play God of War, right? You can't do that on a VR.
Right. That's true. But what if you want to play Asgard's Reign on your PlayStation? You can't do that either.
That's true, but I think more people want to play God of War than they do Asgard's Wrath.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Asgard's Wrath.
Also, PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible, so it has most PlayStation 4 games, PS1, PS2, and some PS3 games. If you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so you know, I don't think.
All right.
I think those two things are different, right?
Okay, so you're saying library. You're not saying cost, because cost is the same.
No. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. They're nested subjects.
They are related.
Also, I think people would get over their nausea for a lot less, right? Like, the cost is important because A, library, and B, VR can make people nauseous. And they'll put up with that if it's like $100 to play Beat Saber, but they're not going to do it for $800 to play Beat Saber once every other week or whatever, you know?
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So I think it all comes back to the cost. But yeah, because don't forget, it's $800 and then you have to buy the games.
Right.
Yeah. Whereas if you buy the PlayStation
5,
if you
also have to buy games.
I think if you're a PlayStation Plus subscriber, they have like their own Game Pass catalog of just like free games to play.
Yeah.
So
you're not getting like the latest and greatest on that, right?
No, but
like Starfield.
Hey man, most innovative game this year.
Oh. Talk about that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So they get the cost down of a VR to like maybe $200.
Yeah, maybe. That might do it.
American. Yeah. I don't know. I was like, maybe they will, but then it keeps going up.
Right.
Every succeeding generation of VR is more expensive. It's like, so how is this supposed to go down exactly?
Right.
And same thing for consoles too. Consoles aren't getting any cheaper.
That's true. Also, I think VR is also space prohibitive. So you would need everyone who can afford to put a PlayStation in their TV unit to have the space to use VR. I don't think that's necessarily true.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah. You ever tried couch co-op on VR? It sucks sharing a headset.
I believe it. How's that work?
It doesn't. I mean, it's not a thing.
I'm like, is that how? All right, jokes. Yeah, kind of a solo thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I played Alex, but man, I got the nausea with Alex. And
really?
I don't know what it is. Yeah. I've played other VR stuff, and that's the first one. After about 15 minutes, I was like, whoa, all right, here we go.
I didn't get it.
I know. And I tried the different movement types, like the teleportation one that's supposed to be better for that. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
You poor thing.
So yeah, if they could fix that, that'd be nice. Yeah. Should we talk about the Game Awards on Steam?
Sure. Let's talk about the Game Awards on Steam.
I think the Game Awards on Steam are a protest.
You think so?
I think too many of these are obviously wrong in a way that Steam users are like, I'm going to use this as a platform to complain about something. Like, the most obvious, two of one. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
Has been abandoned by Rockstar. There are no new updates. There's no new DLC. The online is glitchy. They're not fixing the bugs out there. The Red Dead Redemption 2 subreddit is really mad. And they've been mad for like 5 years. Right. So for them to win the Labor of Love award is the funniest thing.
That's funny. I mean, it has a very positive reviews on Steam, even under recent link. And it's up to almost 500,000 in all time. Like, people seem to think it's a good game.
Because the single player of it is the campaign with Arthur is great. But they haven't given you anything to add to that campaign at all, and the online is garbage. So Labor of Love implies they kept working on this thing. As far as I know, the devs kept working on it. It's like No Man's Sky, where Hello Games was like, we're going to keep working on this for 5 years and keep adding new stuff all the time. And just keep giving you stuff for this game you already own. And that's a labor of love. And Red Dead's like, no, Red Dead is more like every other game that's ever come out. Where they give you the game and then they're like, peace, buy our game, the next one we make in 10 years, you know?
Right.
So, again, I would give it a high ranking too, because it is a great game, but it's not a labor of love.
Mm.
Maybe we could have given it labor of love when it came out.
Maybe. It did come out in 2019.
Yeah, because again, great game. The level of detail and the stuff you can do in this game is incredible. It's beautiful. Tons of people put a ton of work into it. But not in 2023, it's not a labor of love. It was 5 years ago. That's all.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder what labor of love needs, like, what's the eligibility criteria, you know?
Can we see what other games were
nominated? I don't think so. Not at this point.
Bummer.
Because, like, yeah, if it's getting consistent...
Oh, no,
we can?
Yep. Here are the finalists. Deep Rock Galactic.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Apex Legends for some reason?
Sure. If you love money, then that is a labor of love.
Rust for also some reason? Is Rust still putting out updates?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And Dota 2.
Okay, I guess when that's your selection criteria, I know who I'd vote for. Deep Rock Galactic.
Apparently Deep Rock Galactic is really good.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love that game.
Yeah.
I just don't have any friends to play it with.
All right. And then the other one that I thought was really funny was Starfield winning Most Innovative Gameplay Award, which you referenced a second ago.
Yeah.
That has got to be the gamers being like, lol. They promised us innovation and did not give us anything innovative.
No.
And so the other finalists were Remnant.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know what that is.
Think of like if you tried to make a Dark Souls game, but it was also a third-person shooter, like a looter shooter as well.
Okay, yeah.
All
right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, Contraband Police.
Contraband.
I don't know what that is.
Let's have a look. I guess you play as the police and you have to go and arrest people.
Fair.
Okay. Sure, okay. What else?
Sure. Your only move is hustle.
Your only move is hustle. Sounds like a Unity like asset flip game. It's $5. It's a 2D fighter turn-based strategy. 2D fighter turn-based. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, right? How's that work?
Popular user-defined tags. Okay. Sure.
All right, and then Shadows of Doubt, which is an early access game.
Ugh.
That Steam says it's very similar to Far Cry 2.
It tells me it's very similar to Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Which that's...
It's like 3D pixel art?
Yeah. So it's a
little bit innovative.
It's like if Minecraft was HD, right? Like it's just voxel art.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's nice, but I think I've seen Minecraft mods that do this. You know?
Right. Fair enough.
Which cool. I mean, a detective stealth game set in a fully simulated sci-fi noir city of crime and corruption. Okay. I mean,
fine idea, but nothing really innovative. This might honestly be more Starfield 1 because it's the game that more people have played.
I have absolutely no doubt that Steam Awards are based entirely on which games you've heard of. People would have only voted because, like, I've heard of Starfield, I've heard of Red Dead, I've played it, maybe. You know, the people are betting on surefire things like they're actually going to get a return on their bets.
Right. Yeah, that's stupid. And you know what? Same problem with Last of Us. Oh, Last of Us Part 1 won Best Soundtrack Award? I thought it was Part 2. Holy smokes, that's worse. This 2012 game, we're going to honor the soundtrack for the remaster.
Right, but Last of Us didn't come out on Steam until recently, didn't it?
You're right.
That's why it's eligible.
But see, then again, the other games are smaller games. Hi-Fi Rush, Pizza Tower, which I only know about because of Donkey.
Right. I voted for Hi-Fi Rush because I've heard of it.
Persona 5 Tactica.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So there was a chance to nominate and a chance to vote. I nominated Darktide because Darktide's soundtrack is honestly really good. Filled with bangers. Sad that I didn't make it through, but Warhammer games aren't exactly the most popular things.
Truth.
So I get it. But yeah.
And then Chance of Senar, which I've never heard of.
Absolutely never heard of it.
Legend says that one day a traveler will reunite the peoples of the tower. Observe, listen, and decipher ancient languages in a fascinating universe inspired by the myth of Babel.
You know what? It looks good.
It does. I'm sure the music is wonderful. But because Last of Us is the most popular game, it wins.
Yeah, that's how that works. Yes.
All right. Well, never mind. I've changed my theory.
Outstanding Story Rich Game Award. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3.
Jedi Survivor's in here.
Yeah,
That's a famous game.
It is. Less famous than Baldur's Gate 3, I think.
Yeah. Resident Evil 4, again, very famous game, but probably currently less famous than Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, probably. Lies of P?
Yeah. That's like the Pinocchio IP is available.
Yes.
We're using it for something, but
it's a Souls-like game where you play as Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I think is what's going on. I have heard good things about it in terms of story, where it's like you can do a run that's like whether or not you try to lean into being a real boy or where you lean into trying to be a doll, right? And they have different effects and outcomes on the game. So that's neat. I'm not going to play a Souls-like to figure it out.
No.
To get it.
Yeah, it looks like the execution isn't bad. All right. But yeah, again, no one knows about that game. Sorry.
Yeah. Why didn't anyone vote for Love Is All Around?
The visual novel? It sure looks like a visual novel.
It is a dating sim single-player visual novel with FMV.
What on earth sets this apart from any other dating game visual novel? There's a billion of these.
It's got to have an incredible story. The outcome, the category it's in is story-rich game.
Right.
So,
like, what makes its story any better than any number of the 4 billion other things of this exact same game that are already out, right?
Hot women.
They're always hot women. That's the whole point.
Right, but this is FMV. You can see the hot women.
FMV is like 40 years old technology.
And it's still good.
Whatever. In weebs. All right. Anything else we're concerned about here? Not real. Atomic Heart won visual style.
Did it?
I don't know.
Played a little bit of that game.
Didn't really grip you, huh?
Not particularly.
Visually inspire you?
I mean, visually it was okay. Like, I enjoyed it for what I saw, but I don't know, the gameplay just wasn't there. Yeah.
Darkest Dungeon's on the list.
That's what I would have voted for. I love the art style in Darkest Dungeon.
Some of these thumbnails look pretty good.
Good game, too.
Like Road Trip of the Damned. Neat.
I just think it's neat.
Yeah. Then Game of the Year, Lethal Company, Resident Evil 4, Hogwarts Legacy, FC 24, which is a football game.
Sure.
And Baldur's Gate.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough. People are just like, I know this name. Like
Yeah.
in real voting, name recognition is humongous.
Yes, it is.
Although, Sit Back and Relax Award's a little bit interesting. Dave the Diver won.
Mm-hmm. I hear that's a good game.
Like City Skylines 2 actually was a kind of a bad release, I suppose, is in here.
Right. Potioncraft, Train Simworld 4,
Sure.
and Coral Island.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Dave the Diver is the standout here.
Must be. I've heard great things about Dave the Diver.
Maynard gave on his like tiered list that I watched him stream the other day. He put it in like an A rank.
Dang.
Yeah, he
Really
like
Dave the Diver.
really vibed on it. So.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of surprising what it does. Like the depth of the gameplay is more than people expected when they started, and that's always nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's always nice to be surprised a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh. So what about you? What would you give for Game of the Year?
I mean, considering I put like 230 hours into Baldur's Gate, it's tough. Tough for me to be like, something else.
Right. Did you play any other games besides like StarCraft, Brood War, and Baldur's Gate 3 last year?
Fallout New Vegas.
You just started. You haven't even finished. Like you can't.
Well, sure. You didn't say I'd finished any games.
Okay, sure, but okay. Any games that you didn't pick up in the last like 6 days of the year?
Yeah, I played the Cyberpunk DLC.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Cyberpunk DLC, Phantom Liberty.
That was all right.
It was okay.
Yeah, so like Idris Elba's in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, his performance is kind of flat. I was a little bit disappointed. Though not too surprised. I mean, I don't know. What was the last like actor in a video game performance that you're like, holy smokes, this is like Oscar worthy, you know?
Right.
It doesn't usually translate very well.
I think it was Vin Diesel in Forza Horizon.
Vin Diesel, yes.
With the Fast and Furious crossover, where he had to say something about family and get in a car and drive. I think he nailed it.
Did everything they needed him to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair. I don't know. I'm looking through my Steam library. What else did I install this year? Not a bunch. I think you're right. My gaming year was a little bit lackluster for sure. What the?
That was me getting a text message.
Random encounter.
Yeah. Wow. It's the detected sound effect from Metal Gear.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Metal Gear sound.
Yes.
Good call. How about you? What was your game of the year?
Outside of Baldur's Gate 3.
Sure.
Because obviously Baldur's Gate 3.
Right.
So I actually keep a list of everything. I have a spreadsheet for all the books I've read, TV shows, movies, and this year I decided to track my games.
Nice.
I played 3 games. I finished 3 games. That was for it to get on the list, I had to finish the story, or at least whatever it considered to be the main of the bulk of the content. So that was Baldur's Gate, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and a game called RoboQuest.
RoboQuest. I think you talked to me about RoboQuest.
Yeah, RoboQuest, a lot of fun. I absolutely had a lot of fun. Put 26 hours into it, and basically just have museum cards to unlock, which are just like, hey, kill 100 of these enemies, and then you get the card in a museum, and you can select it and then view their 3D model. That's kind of all it is, or some information about it, some lore or whatever, which I'm not particularly interested in doing, because it's just like grinding out a bunch of stuff I'm not going to read.
Collecting feathers in Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So when I finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I very nearly considered downloading an emulator to play more Ratchet and Clank, because that was such a fun game. I grew up on Ratchet and Clank on like the PlayStation 2, so getting it finally on PC was a blast. And then I was sad that it was only one game.
Well, you should do it. There's some good emulation programs out there.
It's true, but I would rather, like, if they don't want my money, I would rather not waste my time. You know.
Okay.
Because like there are other games I can play. There are a ton of other games I can play.
It doesn't have to be Ratchet and Clank.
Doesn't have to be. If they don't want my money, fuck them.
Yeah. Screw you, Sony.
Insomniac.
Insomniac made Ratchet and Clank. I don't think I knew that.
I'm pretty sure. Let's check that claim.
Fact check.
Insomniac Games, yes.
Very cool.
Yep. So, you know, there we go. That's what I give Game of the Year, I guess.
Awesome. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Whew.
Yeah, Insomniac's got it on their front page even. They're like, here's a bunch of Spider-Mans and here's Ratchet and Clank.
Worth it.
Like,
It's good.
That's what we're working on right now, okay?
Yeah, they should absolutely port all of the old Ratchet and Clank games, because there's like 15 of them that they can bring to just PC, and I will buy them all. And
Falcon is in.
yeah.
Oh, they're making a Wolverine game for
are they?
PS5. Mm-hmm.
What about on the Quest 3? Can I play it on VR?
Yeah, right. Probably not.
No.
I haven't been a Wolverine game in a while, I feel like. Since like beat 'em ups.
I had a Wolverine game on like the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. Was it a movie tie-in?
It might have been. GTA.
Man, that is the most Wolverine teaser of a teaser I've ever seen.
What?
He's just like sitting at a bar, drinking, flannel on. Somebody comes up behind him. And then his claws come out at the end. It's like, yeah, okay. You know what? You could have just said Wolverine. I would have gotten all of this. I would have known.
Yeah. So
the laziest teaser I've ever seen.
Yeah. So I want to say that the game I had was X-Men 2: Wolverine's Revenge.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I guess it was X-Men 2 tie-in.
Yep. Makes sense.
Yep.
X2.
Yes.
X-Men 2 is a good movie. But that's funny that they made a Wolverine specific tie-in to a movie that's not a Wolverine movie.
Right. Well, I think at some point you play as not X-Men, as not Wolverine.
Ah, okay.
What's interesting is this game also released on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, Game Boy and PlayStation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's that.
It was GBA?
GBA, yeah.
Search GBA X-Men and it wants me to do Reign of Apocalypse.
There are a couple
another one.
X-Men games on the GBA, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever seen a GBA in real life before. I just completely missed that generation of consoles, yeah.
Wow. I can go get one from my bedroom if you want to see one.
I mean, I can pull up a picture, yes. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think any of my siblings had one. Like the purple, right? It's well, I guess there's other colors, but that's the default.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a forgotten handheld.
Do you think so?
A little bit. Maybe it's just because all the gaming channels that I follow on YouTube never talk about the GBA.
Also, I had a Game Boy Advance SP. I did have. I know someone who had the regular Game Boy Advance, but I had the SP. So mine had the flip and the backlight, and it was way better. But played all the same games. So
was the original GBA didn't have a backlight?
I think so. That's something. The GBA is the sixth generation of video game consoles. The original model followed in 2003 by the SP, a redesigned model with a front-lit screen. So that would imply that the back one, that the previous one did not have a front lit screen.
Gotcha. So backlit, but not front lit.
Yeah. A newer version of the SP with a backlit screen was released in 2005.
Gotcha.
So, also, the one that I've never seen in the wild, I think, other than like a cash converters or like a pawn shop, right, is the Game Boy Micro.
What the heck is that?
You never seen that? So this is a Game Boy SP, but it's basically the size of the cartridge, right?
Oh, no, I have seen this.
Yeah.
It's like silver.
Yeah, I think you could get them in different colors, but yeah, it's probably silvery gray.
Yeah. Tiny, kind of a smaller screen.
No, much smaller screen. It's probably like half the size.
Yeah. For your budget gamers. Holy smokes.
I guess so. Well, the kids who want to
seem like a good gaming experience. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Huh.
You know, is what it is. The resolution was 240 by 160. But it did it at 60 hertz, so it was technically 60 frame, like FPS capable, right?
Sure, yeah. Capable.
Yeah.
Never do it? I don't know.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, playing Pokemon, probably.
Oh, yeah. A lot of turn-based stuff happening. FPS through the roof.
Yes, you needed it for those sprites.
Oh, man. I was talking to my younger brother about when the Star Wars Phantom Menace trailer came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know this. I read this on the Wikipedia page this week, but somebody like recorded it on a screen. Mm-hmm. It was released initially as a trailer for Meet Joe Black for some reason.
Really?
I'm like, what is the overlap in the fan base here? And it got released, so they're gonna put it on the internet, and then the next day, Lucasfilm was like, "Here's the trailer." They just put it on their website. It was like, whatevs.
Right.
And yeah, it downloaded. I think it was like 160p. It was teeny tiny. But man, it was the first time we'd ever seen a trailer that you could just download and watch on your computer whenever you wanted. Different times.
It was a different time. Yeah.
Man. All right.
What a world.
Well, anything else we need to cover from the year?
Well,
Protoss needs to win some tournaments.
Protoss does need to win some tournaments. But I actually want to ask you, best movie, best book, the other two things that I have on my lists, on my spreadsheet.
Oh, man. Best movie of the year.
Yeah, does Barbie or is it Oppenheimer?
I don't think it's either of them, honestly.
Oh, interesting.
Across the Spider-Verse is on my list. I really liked The Batman earlier in the year. Was that a January release?
The Batman?
Yeah.
That came out last year. Last year. Yeah.
No.
2 years ago now, technically. Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh my gosh, it is.
Told you.
March 2022?
Yeah.
Why did I think it was like early 2023? That's not even close.
So here's why I think you might think that.
Okay.
I vaguely recall us saying something where I'm like, oh yeah, I rewatched The Batman at some point last year. And on my spreadsheet, it is the first thing I watched the 5th of January last year.
So you talked about rewatching it January of 2020.
And that is sunk in your mind, and that is when it came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I need to fix that, apparently. Oof. I think it's Across the Spider-Verse. I think that's the only movie I saw twice.
I know the only movie I saw twice last year.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh, yeah, that was a lot of fun too.
That was a lot of fun. I'm gonna give my movie of the year a 3-way tie between Dungeons and Dragons, Barbie, and Oppenheimer.
Okay.
I can't. There's nothing else. I can't. My children, I can't decide between them.
Nope. That's fair. Those are all definitely blockbusters. I watched The Killer. I think we talked about that.
Okay.
And it was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just thinking about the movie. It's Michael Fassbender, who's an amazing actor, and he puts in an incredible performance.
Mm-hmm.
And it's David Fincher,
fuck.
who's an insanely talented director.
Can I have 4 movies for Godzilla -1 as well?
Oh, Godzilla -1. Good call.
Just barely sneaks in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, you saying David Fincher?
Yeah, it's just a David Fincher directed film starring Michael Fassbender. And like, you just tell me that and I'm going to watch it. Like, that's just an incredible pairing.
Sure.
And it just didn't live up to the hype. Like, not even close, I don't think. And it's just weird. It's a weird thing. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning was a lot of fun.
I don't think I've seen that yet.
I might as well just wait until part 2 comes out at this point.
Oh, is it a part 2? Like a part 1?
Yes, it's a part 1.
Did you know that going in?
No! I always get tricked. I need to do more research before I go into these films.
Yeah.
Seriously annoying. And Across the Spider-Verse is a part 1 movie too, and it's like
that's rough.
Grumble. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was also really good.
What about like John Wick 4? That was last year, wasn't it?
John Wick 4 was really good. That's a 2023 film.
It's good. It's half an hour too long, but it's good.
It's crazy long, but at least it's not a part 1 of part 2.
That's true. Fast X.
No, didn't see it.
It was a movie last year. Also part 1.
Yep.
We
need to stop this trend. This trend is ridiculous. Just edit your movies down, people. Just make it 1 movie. You can do it.
Make it 1 5-hour movie, you cowards.
Right.
Okay, well, I think that settles it.
I think that settles it.
Yeah. Cool. Books. Did you read anything?
Not a lot. It was not a good year for books for me.
Really?
Nope.
That's rough.
Really. I read a couple Jack Reacher books.
Yeah.
Apparently, Lee Child, who's the author, he's getting older, so he's getting his son involved in writing them now.
Oh yeah.
So the latest books are like Lee Child and like, I don't know, Brian Child, whatever his name is.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you read any of the books with the child?
Yeah, not the most recent ones that I read. The 2 that I read were had the kid's name on it as well.
Oh, okay. Were they any good?
Yeah, they were good.
Okay.
It's like the most consistent book series I've ever read in my entire life.
Yeah.
It's always Reacher comes into town. There's a problem. He solves the problem. There's a deeper conspiracy than he thought. He wins. The bad guys lose. He has a love interest, and then he moves on. And like, I don't know, it just always works for me. It's always different enough that I'm interested in it, and I can't just guess everything that's going to happen, with the exception of Reacher wins, because he always wins.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, fair enough.
Watch season 2 on the Prime.
Oh yes. Yes. So I read about 103 books last year.
Dang, that's a huge number of books for a year.
Wow. I read 5 of them. I listened to all of the rest.
Sure, that counts. Books are books, man.
Books are books. Not a lot of them, it turns out, were new releases.
Right.
So a lot of them were old. I think maybe like only 4 or 5 new releases. Yeah. For new releases, for some that came out last year, The End and the Death, Volume 2 by Dan Abnett, finally starting to wrap up the Siege of Terror and the Horus Heresy in 40K. Might be one of the best things ever written. Right? Like,
whoa.
It is
Move out of the way, Shakespeare.
Oh, fuck Shakespeare. Shakespeare's got nothing on this.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
It's really good. There is something to it of like, well, you have to have read like 90 other books to really get everything, which, you know, there's some sunk cost in there probably. But at some point, I'm going to try and make a list of like Horus Heresy required reads, and then to like see what you can really cut it down to, because there's a ton of books in the Horus Heresy that don't matter at the end of the story, right? Like,
yeah, right.
There's a ton going on with like Lehman Russ, and he's just not here anymore. Like, he's off licking his wounds after he got beaten by someone somewhere else, right? He's not at Terra for the final showdown. But the End of the Death, Volume 1 and 2, and like 3 is coming, and I think that's the final. No, really, we're done for the Horus Heresy. Really, really excited for that. But I think the thing I enjoyed the most was something called the Vorbis Conspiracy, which is Warhammer Crime. So it's an anthology of several shorter books, but it's all just set on this one little planet, middle of fucking nowhere, backwater, reasonably important in the system it's in. And you get a bunch of stories that are about, usually it involves like one of the local cops as like a detective or like a SWAT guy, basically, right? And they deal with like something. But there are all these stories that are told around a spaceport called Vorbis. And there was a crash. And so this starship breaks up in orbit, sets like half the city on fire. And so there's this conspiracy to like, who caused it? Why did they cause it? What were they trying to cover up? And that is slowly told and uncovered, and you can put the pieces together by reading all these different short stories. They do eventually just come out and tell you at the last book is just like, yeah, so here's exactly what happened. We're going to have two characters say it like out loud, everything that happened, which is a little like, I think it would have been better if you just let people work it out.
Ominous, yeah.
But other than that, it was a lot of fun, like in my head with like a mental map and drawing strings to everything. I mean, like, but the Mechanicus they wanted the contract to upgrade it, but maybe they weren't going to get it, and they need it because like the tithe in production's going up, and like they need, like, you can really get a lot of like, you can try to like look into the conspiracy yourself as you like. For me, listen along. It was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, so kind of more localized Warhammer.
Yeah, no Space Marines, no. It's not a battlefield.
Space battles. Yeah.
Nope. So, like, there are like gunfights and stuff, but it's like this old cop who's trying to like chase down a suspect, and they're like pulling a gun on them. You know,
right?
Like
film noir stuff.
Yeah, it's also a lot of like really interesting details on like the culture of this planet, where this cop is like, "Hey, I'm trying to follow this woman because she might have information. She keeps giving me the slip." And like this little gang girl who's like living in the slums, indoctrinated into the gang, who doesn't want anything to do with this cop, right? Like, you don't talk to cops, that kind of thing. And the way he like threatens this child is he can like induct her into the police by force, and like that's a threat to her. He's like, by my writ as sanctioner of the local enforcers or whatever on Electu, I hereby induct what's your name go, and she's like breaking down that he's gonna like abduct her from her family, make her a cop, become everything she hates, and it's like, oh my god, that is brutal. That is a thing you can do to someone if they just like won't give you information. I thought it was a neat touch.
Woo! Just like the individual mattering so much. Yeah. That sounds good.
Yep. Highly recommend.
Cool. All right. I should read more books.
You should read
24. I think
read
that'll
more
be
books.
My New Year's resolution.
Read more Warhammer.
Yeah. That is gosh darn expensive.
I can give you my audiobook.
Has some Warhammer.
I can give you my audiobooks.
I don't do audiobooks.
I know.
Too slow for me.
You can turn them up to like 2 times 2 speed.
I don't know. I can still read faster than 2 times speed audiobook.
You can export it at 2 times speed and then 2 times speed it. And then it'll be times 4 speed. Everybody talk like this.
Too fast for me to understand is the problem.
It's true.
I don't know. We'll figure something out. I'll see what the library has.
Yeah, do that.
All right, neat. Okay, that's going to be it from us then today. This has been the first Falcon Paladin hour of 2024. Very fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Streamed live out at twitch.tv/Somicron. The VOD will show up at youtube.com/@Somicron as well. If you want to support the podcast, that's patreon.com/Somicron or falconpaladin.store. All right. So we'll be back next week. This should be same time. We had to push it up for this one, so sorry for the inconvenience, but
yeah.
We will do the same time next week. That's the plan. And until then, stay safe and healthy. And above all, you take care of yourself.
Bye.
Bye. What'd you say?
Oh, somebody wanted to watch football, so we had to push the podcast.
I did.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I have no regrets.
That's fine. I'll forgive you.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Bye.
Bye.